Thank you, Sue. 7:31. You know, we haven't reached the halfway point in February, and there have been more than 150 carjackings so far in Philadelphia, and the victims don't always survive. Over the weekend, George Bracella, husband, father, grandfather, and Marine veteran, was killed and his car stolen in Ronhurst. Police say he had been checking on his elderly mother at the time. So we want to get to Mike this morning with former Philadelphia Police Deputy Commissioner Joe Sullivan to talk through some of the most common scenarios to help you lower your risk and potentially save your life.
Yeah, we just got some information from the Deputy Commissioner that there have been 200 carjackings in Philadelphia this year. So that, what is that, 6 weeks tops, 5 weeks. And that's probably about 50 every 6 or 7 hours. Well, one carjacking every 5 to 6 hours. So what do you do about it? Here is one of the #1 methods that people are carjacking people's cars. This car is running. Let's say I'm driving. I've come to a stop at an intersection. I get rear-ended. You know what you do. You leave the car running a lot of times. What in the heck is the and that fast, the car is gone. Commissioner, good to see you.
Good morning, sir.
I'm glad it was him. That's a pretty common technique now, isn't it?
It's becoming very common. Take a driver by surprise. You bump them from the rear, they get out, trade information as they should. So it's just something that people have to be aware of.
Yeah.
If you're bumped from behind.
It's the natural thing to do. You get bumped, and you get out. Like you said, you want to exchange numbers. You want to see how much damage was done to your bumper or whatever.
Sure.
And in that split second, they get in the car and take off.
So now it's important that you just take a second, make sure your doors are locked, your windows are up, look in your rear view mirror. If you have a rear view camera, utilize that. Assess the situation. If you have any doubts whatsoever, just keep moving. Put on your hazards, indicate to the person to follow you, drive slowly.
So you're telling me don't get out.
If you feel something's not right, if it's a dark area, there's no other people around, certainly not. Just go somewhere safe, drive to a police station, call 911, tell them that you don't feel comfortable.
Trust your instincts. Is what
Absolutely.
All right, let me try this. It's kind of the same scenario. Joe, you come out. Now we're seeing a lot of this. Delivery people, a lot of times their windows will be up. They'll pull up, they start to deliver the food, and the same thing happens. Oh, but a lot of times you have a gun.
Sometimes I have a gun, or a lot of times delivery people will leave the car running so it stays warm. They go up to make their delivery. Someone jumps in the car, or someone approaches them when they get out of the car. That's why it's important that when the restaurant maintains a record of previous cell phone numbers, minimized cash transactions, make sure that your database includes a call history for that location.
Yeah.
But once again, as a delivery driver, when you get that feeling something's not right.
You know, a lot of these delivery drivers now are packing a gun. You've noticed that uptick, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah. It's bad.
It's
now
bad.
Everybody has a gun.
Right.
I thought that might deter carjackers. If they think somebody has a gun, maybe they won't carjack as much.
We're not talking about people that are emotionally stable, that think logically. They think for the moment, they see an opportunity, and that's always the problem.
Okay, let me do another one here. So, I'm an everyday citizen. My window is up, and you come tap on it. Like you tap on it with a gun. What do I do?
In that scenario?
You got a gun, and you're tapping on my window.
I'm tapping on your window. I want you to put your hands where I can see them. I want you to remain calm. Do not engage in an argument with me or a physical struggle. If there's a child in the back seat, I want you to say so calmly but affirmatively. Because even the carjacker doesn't want to drive away with a child in the back seat of a car.
If you want my car and you have a gun, I'm going to give you my car, right?
Absolutely.
That's the idea. So I got a kid in the car seat. I should yell, "There's a kid in there!"
No, don't ever yell. Just say,
okay, stay calm.
You can have the car.
Child's in there.
Let me get my child.
Because the carjacker doesn't want a kid.
Absolutely not.
It's going to make it 10 times worse.
And I recommend you keep your cell phone in your pocket so that when you do surrender the car, you'll still have your cell phone with you so you can call 911 once the offender leaves the scene. And remember, anybody can be a victim of crime. because you're a victim of a crime does not mean that you did something wrong.
Right.
The fault is with the criminal.
So
But
let's say I pull up to a Wawa or gas station and I get out to go in. Are you saying now shut off the car and keep your keys and your phone with you?
absolutely. And never leave a child in the car.
No.
Even just to grab that cup of coffee.
And never, leave the car running. You also say, I wanted to share, that they have these new tracking devices you can put on cars. You advise that too?
I do, but I like the aftermarket devices so that can be installed individually, meaning that you and the installer can decide exactly where to place it in the vehicle. So
Yeah.
Someone who has a knowledge of these devices doesn't know where to find it. Same thing, if you all your electronics, because you're going to get out of the car, you probably left your computer or some other electronic devices have GPS tracking on them.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to recover your car, and God forbid if there is a child in the car, we're going to immediately know where that car is and be able to locate
Commissioner,
much quicker.
good to see you, my man.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. How's retirement going?
Fantastic.
Okay. You have time to do TV. Thank you, Joe. Here's
Thanks.
Alex.
Okay, thank you. Those are some great tips, and it really is interesting to see that played out there so we can see and learn what to do, because unfortunately, these carjackings keep happening. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.